One con artist sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal twice and got away with it both times by exploiting human greed and government corruption. But first, please subscribe. Now let's discover the greatest con artist in history, Victor Lustig. In 1925, Victor Lustig read a newspaper article about the Eiffel Tower needing expensive repairs. The French government was complaining about maintenance costs for the aging monument. Lustig saw an opportunity for the perfect con. He forged official French government documents identifying himself as the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs. He invited 6 scrap metal dealers to a secret meeting at the luxurious Hotel de Crillon in Paris, claiming the government needed to discuss an urgent confidential matter. At the meeting, Lustig explained that the Eiffel Tower was structurally unsound and too expensive to maintain. The government had decided to secretly sell it for scrap metal to avoid public outcry. Here's the brilliant part. Lustig swore the dealers to secrecy, claiming the sale had to be confidential to prevent protests from Parisians who loved the tower. The secrecy made the con more believable. The dealers competed against each other to win the contract, each believing they'd discovered an exclusive business opportunity. Lustig chose André Poisson, an insecure scrap dealer desperate to break into Paris high society. Poisson was the perfect mark, ambitious, greedy, and afraid of looking foolish. To seal the deal, Lustig did something unexpected. He hinted that he wasn't paid well as a government official and needed extra money. This bribe request convinced Poisson the deal was legitimate. Corrupt officials demanding bribes felt authentic. Poisson paid Lustig a massive sum for the Eiffel Tower contract, plus a substantial bribe. Lustig immediately took the money and fled to Austria before Poisson realized he'd been scammed. Here's the most shocking part. Poisson was too embarrassed to report the crime to police. He didn't want anyone knowing he'd been fooled, so Lustig faced 0 consequences. Emboldened by his success, Lustig returned to Paris 6 months later and sold the Eiffel Tower again to a different scrap metal dealer using the exact same scheme. The second victim also refused to report the crime out of embarrassment. Lustig had discovered the perfect con. Victims too humiliated to seek justice. Lustig's criminal career included counterfeiting, fraud, and con games across Europe and America. He even convinced Al Capone to invest in a fake scheme, then returned the money claiming the deal fell through, earning Capone's trust. His most famous con was selling a money-making machine that supposedly copied $100 bills. The machine actually contained 2 real bills that it slowly fed out, creating the illusion of printing money. Lustig was finally arrested in 1935 for counterfeiting and sentenced to 20 years in Alcatraz. He died in prison in 1947, having conned thousands of people out of millions of dollars. His Eiffel Tower con remains the most audacious scam in history, selling a landmark monument that he didn't own twice and getting away with it both times. That's your con artist knowledge bomb. If Lustig's audacious scam amazes you, smash that like button. Subscribe for more unbelievable true crime stories.